On today's video, we're going to make a no-bake fruit pie, but not with gelatin. We're going to use some whole ingredients, and this is something both Joe and I can enjoy. And if you stay tuned to the end, you'll see what we had for our Easter dinner. See you soon. Hello, time to make the no-bake fruit pie. I am stoked about this, that I found a recipe that both Joe and I can eat. Now, is it the perfect recipe for me? It's probably got more sugar than I should have, but it is an option for me to enjoy something that I used to eat. My mom used to make this, but she always used the pack of the gelatin. And so this is going to be us making it from scratch. So we're choosing to use Eat Plant-Based, her recipe, and it can be a variety of fruits that you use. We're doing strawberry because it's spring, it's Easter, and we want to have spring. So we're going to jump right in, and then I'll show you what I started and then jump back over here. So what I have in here is 1 cup of strawberries. These are fresh that I have put in the pot, and I just started it, and this is a cup. And then I need to add 3/4 cup of water. And the recipe says to let these items come to a boil till the fruit starts to like mash up a little bit. So we're going to let this cook a little. While that's going on, we will move over here and show you what we've already got started. So she says in the recipe that you could use graham cracker or a regular pie crust. I had what do you call that? Graham cracker. And it actually does not have any dairy in it. It clearly doesn't have any meat in it. So I was like, oh, we'll use that and we both will be eating it. I've always been a huge fan of graham cracker crusts anyway. And Joe said he didn't care which crust. So this has 1.5 cups of strawberries. Dice them or cut them whatever way you would like. And you just put them in the pan. So that's all I had to do. And then there's only 2 other ingredients that need to go in this, and that is some cornstarch, 2 tablespoons, which I have here, and a 1/3 cup of cane sugar, which I'd never bought cane sugar before. It's different than regular sugar. So I have that in here, and it says to whisk these items together, because once that comes to a boil over there, we're going to add this in, and this is going to be not only our thickener, but our sweetener. So I've never made the recipe before, so I'm following the instructions to a T. I might find down the road, especially in the heart of strawberry season, maybe you don't need as much sugar, but caution there. So Joe, a couple weeks ago, you were making homemade strawberry jam, and he was using the container of the pectin. Well, I said to him, I said, don't add that much sugar so that I can have some of this homemade jelly. Well, we did that, but then the jelly never set. So then we went back to the store and looked at the pectin thing, and there's different ones to use low sugar or regular sugar. So we might need the sugar to be that much in order for this to become gelled. So, and that's not my forte, is all the baking stuff. So I'm following this recipe to a T until I know more. So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. I think I might need a masher because we want to make sure that this is going to be similar. So this, like I said, this is going to turn into that gelatin that we need, and then it pours over those strawberries. So we want to make sure, I think these need to be mashed up is where I'm going with that. So I'm just going to mash these a little bit. They are pretty sweet. I did have a couple while I was cutting them up. But again, like I said, I'm going to follow the recipe, and it's 8 pieces. So it's not like I'm going to sit down and eat the whole pie, and Joe will be eating it too. So, I'm not overly worried about it. So this is looking good. The strawberries are breaking apart nicely. Okay. Let's move this over here. Okay. You can see it's starting to come to a boil. And then we're going to add, now the other thing I was thinking was, we have at our farmer's market, we have one family that brings peaches from Southern Illinois, which in our state, I would say, wouldn't you say, Joe, that's where the peaches are the best, is Southern Illinois. And so I'm anxious to try this recipe with peaches. Now, I don't know how it would do with frozen fruit, because then you have, I think if you drained it well, you could, and she might have tips about that at the bottom of the recipe, but I'm not willing to try that yet until I've done this a few times. And I think if I want to make this again, I think I'm going to go blueberry. if I make it before peach season comes around. So, okay, we have got a boil here. So I'm going to, that's definitely a boil right there. So I'm going to mix in the cornstarch and the sugar and start stirring that around. And she says it should thicken up pretty quickly. I noticed some, here we go. I don't want any, I want all that sugar and stuff to be dissolved. So I want to use my little whisk here to make sure. And she says it comes together pretty quickly. And I want to make sure I show you that on camera. I don't want you to come back and be like, well, how long did that really take? So I want to show you. Wow, it's already starting to thicken up. Look at that. Woo, this is looking good. I will say this. I think I'm going to mash the strawberries just a little bit more. Oh my goodness. This looks so good and it smells so good. Look at that. That is completely gelling up. I think I'm good to go there now. Let me turn it down just a little bit. Make sure it has time to do its thing. Wow, this is coming together very quickly. Probably it's taking us just as long for me to get ready as it is to get it done. Honestly, if you have an egg slicer, that's a great tip. You can cut the tops of the strawberries off and then put it in an egg slicer if you wanted evenly sliced items. I didn't want that, so I didn't worry about that. Wow, look at that. Look how thick that is. That happened no time at all. So I'm going to take this off. And then she says that you pour it on top of your strawberries in your crust. Oh my goodness. Got some more in here. We don't want to waste any of this. So I'm curious in the comments, would you have chosen strawberry as the first fruit to try this recipe out, or would you have chosen something else? Like I said, this is Easter Sunday. Now, I didn't do it last night because she says it only takes 2 to 3 hours in the fridge. This is Sunday morning. We don't plan to eat our meal until mid-afternoon. We probably won't have dessert till closer to dinner time. So I'm just going to put, the handy dandy lid that comes with this pie crust. I'm going to let it sit here for a few minutes to kind of cool off a little bit. And then I'll put it in the fridge and we'll come back once it's solidified and we'll show you guys what it looks like and see, did it really stay solidified? What happened? I do want to do this. I do want to, just to make sure that it all gets down in there. So we'll see you back here to give it a taste test. Welcome back. It's time to try the pie, and I realized I did not do my normal intro. So let's really quickly recap why we make these videos. I eat whole food, plant-based, or as close as I can to it to cure my migraines, which is working. And Joe eats a standard American diet. So we show you that it's really not that hard to put it all together and do things together. So most times it's one dish, 2 ways. But the last 2 videos, we've been able to do one dish that we both can enjoy, and it fits both of our lifestyles. So this is perfect. So we need to try the pie. Look at that. I just took it out of the fridge. Totally gelled up with just the cornstarch and that sugar, that cane sugar. We're amazed. But this is also Easter Sunday, so happy Easter, everyone. And we wanted to show you what we made for Easter dinner. We're going to try this in a second. But number one, I have a massive stir fry of veggies here. I've got squash, zucchini, asparagus, corn, bell peppers, onions. And I think that's everything in that one. We've got smashed potatoes, which I did in the air fryer. Now I did to get so that we don't add oil to them, but to make sure that the seasonings would stick, I used aquafaba because I made chickpeas last night. We've done a video on that. This is meatloaf for me. As you can see, I broiled it so that I could get the ketchup to do that thing. So I've got meatloaf for me, and Joe smoked a pork butt. And as you can see, this is a little bit of meal prep, food prep too, because we cannot eat all of this. So that's what we had for Easter. We'd love to know in the comments what you had for Easter. But Joe, let's try this pie. So let's cut into it. And I got to thinking after we did the first part of the video and made it, why I tapped this thing. That was stupid because I probably broke the crust. My fault, guys. I don't know what I was thinking. The crust. He loves to do that to me. So let's see what this looks like. First of all, did I cut through the crust? Oh, there we go. I think. Look at that. Actually, oh, hold on. I didn't get all the way down there, so I didn't get all the crust. But I will say it's standing up. It's not caving in. So that gelatin or that homemade corn, that you didn't have to use gelatin. It worked. And that is what I wanted to make sure of. Again, I have no problem trying these on camera. I mean, I know enough to know whether they will work or not. Well, thoughts, Joe?
Very good.
Oh my gosh, that's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not too sugary.
No, it's
like the perfect amount. But look at that. It stood up and everything. Wowzers. This is going to be an awesome dessert. We're just having a little bit before dinner. So, give this one a try, guys. This is really good. So let us know in the comments. Are you going to try this pie? And what did you have for your Easter dinner? Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.